In Pennsylvania right now, there's been a lot of hoo-ha going on by people that are anti-gun rights about this idea that people in Pennsylvania and in New Jersey are getting Florida permits to carry in Pennsylvania, not getting the Pennsylvania permit, and basically they're calling it a gun show or a gun loophole. And it isn't, because the Pennsylvania permit is a very easy permit to get. Pennsylvania is a shall-issue state. And what that means is the states, the counties within the state, they shall issue to every law-abiding citizen, resident of Pennsylvania, a gun permit upon application and upon background check that comes out clean. Okay? There are some counties like Philadelphia that are giving people a hard time with that, which leads some people to want to go and get a permit somewhere else where they are given due process. Okay? Pennsylvania is not a discretionary state. There are some states that are discretionary, which means they may issue. And in most cases, that means they will not issue, such as New Jersey, New York, Maryland. Now, the point that I'm making here is this, that the requirements to get your Florida permit and your Virginia permit are more stringent than the requirements for the Pennsylvania permit. If you live in Pennsylvania, I go on record as saying you should get your Pennsylvania permit. If you live in a state that issues, that is a shall-issue state like PA, unlike New Jersey where you can't get a permit because they don't issue them, you should get your permit. And in addition, get the Florida permit, get the Virginia permit, get the Utah permit. But you should get the permit of your own state if it's a shall-issue state. And the requirements to get a Pennsylvania permit if you're a law-abiding citizen with a clean criminal record with no history of felonies and no history of misdemeanors, of domestic violence or protection from abuse orders is very straightforward. And it should only take a week, although in Philadelphia it could take up to 4 months and you're often denied. Okay, but they don't require training in Pennsylvania. No training required. And they don't do an FBI background check. There's no fingerprints taken. So the politicians that are saying to you that people are trying to get around the law in Pennsylvania and do this mail order or online are full of it, because you have to be present in order to be fingerprinted, as you all are aware, because you're here today. You have to be present in order to get notarized. And it is sent in by mail, but when it's sent in, when you send your applications in following our steps, our foolproof steps, Florida, the agency in Florida that handles the non-resident and resident concealed carry permits, which, by the way, they don't distinguish between resident and non-resident permits in Florida. They're treated as all the same. That agency and the agency in the state police in Virginia that processes the permits, they will do their own background check, and that means the Virginia State Police and the Florida Department of Law Enforcement do their background checks, and then the FBI does a background check. So in each case, it's a double background check. In Pennsylvania, we don't have that. It's less stringent. That's why your fingerprints have to be legible. And by the way, if your fingerprints come out, if they send it back, we will redo your fingerprints at no charge. You just can come to our next event and we'll fingerprint you again. No problem. So when the politicians talk about getting around the law in Pennsylvania, it's really rhetoric and it's a political soap wagon. It is not the truth. In addition, you're here now to take the class, which is required by Florida and required by Virginia. You have to learn about handgun safety, firearm safety, deadly force, concealed carry, and the law. Pennsylvania does not require any training whatsoever. We're going to cover that. In addition, those people that are here for Utah are going to get the more detailed Utah curriculum, which is mandated by the state of Utah for their carry permit.